Good afternoon, everybody. It is 12 noon this Thursday lunchtime. It's Jim White and it's Simon Jordan, and we are live on talkSPORT. And of course, we're also streaming live on YouTube and your smart TV. You can watch the show as well as listen to it. This Saturday, Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn meet in the ring more than 30 years after their fathers went head to head. And it's a fight you can hear live on talkSPORT.
We are proud to present the main attraction of the evening, a middleweight contest at 11 stone 6 pounds over 12 rounds, each of 3 minutes duration, for the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World.
It was a fight in an era, a generation where it was heavily spoken about. It was one of the biggest fights of all time.
This is going to be like the first fight between my father and Nigel Benn. It's going to be special.
The eyes watch Reg. This will be the finish of the Mediocrity. It's all over in the ninth round.
If anyone else touches me.
What if I was to slap you right now? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, go on, go ahead.
Yeah, talk about my dad.
I do detest Chris Eubank, more than anybody else.
I come up the hard way. I didn't prove myself, boy. You had your time. Let's have some parliamentary procedure here, all right?
What they've done is they've sat there at night and thought, I'm going to hit him round the face with an egg.
Never seen such a tight fight. If I'm going to go for anything, I'm going to go for the draw.
He was good. He hurt me bad, man.
You're just upset.
Me and you are
Dad
fighting.
Can't stand you. And
I'm
my
not
dad has
upset.
my back. You are. That's all.
I'm
that
not
was.
upset.
The names of the fathers, it goes back 4 decades.
I'm taking care of the family business.
The procedure will be parliamentary.
Eubank Benn, it's happening again, and talkSPORT is all over it. This lunchtime, Simon and myself in studio here at London Bridge, and alongside us, Spencer Oliver, and alongside Spencer, brother of Liam and Callum Smith, Paul Smith, former boxer himself, of course, joins us live in the studio. It's cosy, Paul. It's a tight fit, but we can do it, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you. Have you bought into this?
Unfortunately, yeah. I said
Why
when I was on, because I don't know. It's just it's a bit of a circus, but it's a fight that I'll be watching. I said this to Simon and Spencer when I was on the show a couple of weeks back. I'm not going to miss this. It's a huge event. Obviously, my brother's on the show, so I'm going to be there anyway. But would I have got a ticket and tried to get down if he wasn't, or if I didn't have any interest? I don't know. I probably still might have, to be honest with you, to fight that. I think the atmosphere is going to be electric, and I think that overrules what might happen in the ring. The atmosphere is going to be frightening. It's a stadium fight, and I think you should get to every one of them in the UK.
I think you echo that, Spencer, don't you?
Absolutely. Listen, you're talking about they are their father's sons, and I think when you're talking about levels, as Simon's talked about, yeah, they're iconic figures of fathers. Maybe the sons are not as good as them, but it's still a level playing field, and I think with the egos and the pride that's on the line, they will deliver in the ring. I think you're going to have it's going to be a fantastic spectacle for sure.
I think so. There's Chris in Newcastle. One of a few, Simon. Why is Simon being such a pain in the backside about this? He's going to buy into it sooner than later. Are you?
There's nothing to buy into. You like what you like. You don't like what you don't like. Good luck to them. They're going to get paid a fortune for mediocrity. And wonderful. And Eddie and Ben Shalom are going to make a fortune. Saudis are going to put the rematch on, and the public are going to buy old rope. We'll see.
Do you think it's old rope, Paul? Is it old rope?
Look at it from a boxing purist. Look at the levels of both fighters. It's not a world title fight. It's not probably on the level of what a world title fight would be, but it's two fighters who have similar ability, probably, who are going to knock 7 bells out of each other and need personally to test each other. So that in a stadium in the UK with a good undercard as well, but some really good fighters on the undercard, I think that sells, and that's what it is. And listen, as I said, out of morbid curiosity, you're going to tune in, you're going to want to see how it happens anyway.
You're with us for the next hour, but I'm going to go early. What are we going to see? How do you think this will play out?
I think Ben, I don't think he's going to be able to control his emotions. I don't think he's going to be able to not go for it and go for it early. I think Eubank will be ready for that. And we keep seeing this all over. Now people are starting to realise Eubank's not really a good boxer, but he's a very good fighter. Or he was, at least in a couple of years ago, maybe his younger days. But if he puts his head on your chest and it gets into a bit of a dogfight and a slugfest, he's actually really good at that. I think that's where he'll probably excel. That's what Conor Benn wants to do. We know he's explosive, Conor Benn, but ultimately I think there's two weights between these two fighters. Eubank's a big lad and Conor's a smaller lad, and usually a good big and beats a good small one.
It's interesting, various areas we can get into here, Spencer and Simon. I mean, I'll ask it. I want to hear from some callers as well, because we'll take calls in the next hour, and it's the usual number 03717 223344. Who is the more popular winner on Saturday night? Where'd you go with that, Spence?
Chris Eubank Jr. would be the more popular winner, without a doubt. I think because of the recent times. You know, I think that Conor was the fans' favourite. Of course he was. You know, he was becoming a nation's sweetheart in many ways in the boxing world because of his journey and how he was developing. But since the failed drugs test, I think that's changed massively, and people now have turned massively for Chris Eubank Jr. He's the one that everyone's going to be shouting for.
Is that still in the back of people's minds, Sam? I know it's still rankles with you that you don't think Conor has ever proved his innocence yet.
It doesn't rankle with me. It's just facts. When you're running around suggesting you've been exonerated and it's your gift to prove that, but you don't want to do that, then I think you have to ask the questions why. I've moved on from that. I think Chris Eubank has stolen the march because he's very clever in press conferences. He's prepared to pay the undercard fighters. He's mugged off Eddie Hearn by doing that, at the same way as he's positioned himself as the people's champion. So he'll turn from the guy that walked into... I was there in Manchester when he walked into that arena in the first fight with Paul's brother, and there was no bigger villain in that environment. The atmosphere was electric. Now he's going to walk into a different scenario at Tottenham Hotspur. He's going to walk into a scenario where Conor is the villain. It's whether Conor can feed off that. Chris couldn't in the first fight against Liam and got knocked out. In the second fight, Liam wasn't fit. We'll see. But the fact of the matter is that the narratives that are being spun out will be relevant when they get in the ring. They still got to do a job.
I've found myself liking them more this fight.
Do you?
I have. Yeah. Honestly, I can say that. Listen, I respect him. I respected him before he fought me, but I've sparred with him. I respected him after he fought me, but at both times I saw him in an airport in Dubai. Literally, both of us wait for the same lift. Shook his hand, gave him a hug, said hello. You know, like, it's all respect, obviously, but
as it should be.
As it should be. Of course, as it should be. Personally, I just didn't really like how he is. His style. He's the complete opposite to what we are. But this fight, I found myself laughing my head off some of the things he was saying, watching the telly. He's been brilliant for the fight, and he's probably turned, as Simon just said, half the nation on his side now.
So, which team are you with then, Paul? If you are you Team Eubank or Team Ben?
I'm here for Team Smith, for me, brother Liam. That's it. I'm not on either side. Look, I spoke to Conor. I spoke to Conor in the O2 after the drug test, and he come over and he had something to say. As I'd mentioned, I said, look, I hope it's wrong. I hope you prove yourself innocent. I hope it's not true.
Yeah.
He told me there, well, it's not true. I guarantee it's not true, and it'll come out in the end. I was like, no problem. I hope it is. I really do, because I like the kid. I used to like him when he was coming through. He was always nice, polite, respectful. He always has been. And with Eubank, again, it's not in person. He just fought me brother, and some of the things that were said in the press conference I didn't like and I didn't agree with. And if I could have probably seen him, I would have maybe said something. But it's all gone now. Water under the bridge, and hopefully they can make a trilogy after this fight.
Okay, Paul's brother Liam, of course, on the undercard. We shall get to that with Spencer, with Simon.